Where is the little boat?
We lost our son, Jeff, at age 14 to homicide 13 years ago. The date was November the 4th. Jeff was a promising freshman at Terry Parker High School. He had a telephone call to come pick him up one night following a student-teacher fundraising event. As I arrived there that evening, I noticed that Jeff and his good friend Billy were not standing at the door of the library. I noticed a dummy or a straw man that I knew was probably left over from Halloween festivities there at the school that was laying across the chair. So as I turned to go in front of the administration building, Billy came running out and started to yell, "Mr. M, Mr. M, you've got to get over there. Jeff has been shot." What I thought had been a dummy or a straw man was in fact Jeff laying across that chair. Jeff was, as a firstborn son, always very special.
How'd you do, Jeff?
I did good, I passed.
He was just a friendly, outgoing person. Jeff and Billy had been approached at the door of the library that evening by 4 other young men demanding money from them. There were 2 16-year-olds, one 17-year-old and an 18-year-old. Ellis was the youngest.
The way we was living then was very stupid, and you know, we liked to carry guns and have what we thought was fun with guns. Just so happened at this time we only had one, and Omar Jones was carrying it. Once we got to the school, we came past the library door, and Mr. Jeff Mitchell was sitting in the chair right there on the corner. I heard Omar ask Jeff, did he have any money?
They indicated they had none.
And I heard one gunshot first, followed by a second shot.
Those 2 shots ultimately took Jeff's life.
I was so shocked at the time, and it happened so fast. And I was like, man, don't none of us even know that guy. He ain't done nothing to none of us. I mean, it was just supposed to be fun. Later that night, the police came in and arrested me.
They had all been apprehended by the time Jeff died that next morning. And I knew that his life had to have more meaning. And I think that's a commitment I made. The purpose of Compassionate Families is to provide support and grief recovery services to family members who have experienced the loss of a loved one through homicide. My wife and I are the founding members. We're working with, at any one given time, several hundred families. How are your sisters doing? How is Angel doing in school?
Well, Angel School is...
You have peer support, you have information and referral, because people have not just gone through grief, they're traumatized.
They are really, really good, loving people, and they will go out of their way to help you. They really will.
I wrote a letter to Mr. Mitchell a few days after I got locked up, trying to apologize.
Ellis was obviously very different from the other 3. He was the only one that seemed to even have any understanding of what he had been involved in, and was certainly the only one to indicate his remorse and his sorrow. Our recommendations were one of leniency for Ellis. He was subsequently sentenced to 15 years in the state prison.
I was 16 when I went in and 28 when I got out.
We were very curious as to, quite frankly, what prison life had meant to him and for him. Grab a seat.
All right, thank you.
If he would speak to young people today, what a powerful message he could bring to them.
Whatever I can do to further show that I'm sorry and to honor his son, I'm gonna do that.
Ellis and I have had opportunities to speak at programs with schools and with youngsters who are in the juvenile justice system. Only 1 pulled the trigger. All 4 were charged with first-degree capital murder.
At the beginning, I thought, well, you know, he wants me to talk to people, but nobody's gonna listen to me. I done did most of my life in prison.
I'd like to introduce my friend Ellis Curry.
After talking to people, it lets me know that it's not in vain.
It was 4 of us that got convicted. Without this man, his wife recommendation, I'd have had life just like the rest of the 3.
The advice I got was, like, violence is not the answer, and make better decisions in life.
I'm gonna hang with the right crew, and I'm gonna accomplish my goals, go to college, and get my education.
The only reason why I'm standing here today is because the love of God worked through this man and his wife to have pity on me.
I have really not come to terms yet with forgiveness.
Every time I see him, I get a little shy, and those same regrets of my past come right back. It's like I constantly want to say, man, I'm sorry, but I know nobody wants to hear that 24 hours a day.
I appreciate and understand where Ellis was at age 16, and I understand and appreciate even more so where he is today. The future for compassionate families, as we would like to see it, more involvement by more young rehabilitated offenders such as Ellis.
If you got in your mind to do the right thing, hang with the people that's doing the right thing.
I think it'll make our message much stronger.